Good morning. I hope everyone is having a great start to their day and is headed to, getting ready to be headed to Sunday school. But in my prayer time, as I was praying for this country, we know that we are in a mess. But I had a thought come to me and about just peace in the midst of it all. And I looked up peace, and peace is the definition of peace is freedom from disturbance, tranquility. And as I was praying, I thought about Peter, and in the moment he stepped out of the boat and walked on water, and I was just thinking about the peace he must have had in his soul at the moment that he was stepping out of the boat onto that water in order not to sink. I know that he took his eye off of God and started sinking. But as I was praying, I was for the church, even for others, a continuous battle, a continuous fight will weigh you down mentally. And I mean, if it's not a physical war, physical fist fight or something, it's not really necessarily going to get you physically, but it will definitely get you mentally and emotionally. And that was what I was telling one of my friends last night about something. We've got to pray for the mental and emotional state of people, because a continuous battle will weigh you down. And as I was just praying for the church, God's remnant, this morning, I was thinking that how great it would be to have just that continuous moment of peace that Peter must have felt in the moment that he stepped out of the boat and was walking on water. Before he took his eyes off of Christ and started looking at the winds around him, he had to have felt peace in his soul, in order, knowing that the faith he had was carrying him, causing him to walk on water. So I was just praying that for the church to have that peace continuously and daily, and each moment of the day, that our mind could be stayed on the Lord and the things of Him, not to get discouraged and not to be weighed down by everything that's going on around us, but to have that continuous peace that was possible in that moment. And then I started thinking about some others in the Bible, Daniel. He purposed in his heart at the beginning of the book of Daniel, Daniel 1:8, it said he purposed in his heart not to defile himself with the king's meat. He had that purpose and that drive. So all throughout the book of Daniel, when he was shown favor, and that made people mad at him, and people came against him, but he never lost that purpose in his heart. And even when they went to the king and got him to decree the decree that nobody could pray for 30 days, Daniel still prayed, and he must have had a peace in his soul that he knew, regardless of defying the king, he was going to be okay because God had him. And then even the 3 Hebrew boys, they were surrounded by people bound down to idols, worshiping things that they shouldn't be worshiping. We're only to worship the one true God, and they're surrounded by idolatry. And they refused to bow, knowing that they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. But the peace in their soul, the tranquility, the freedom from the disturbance that, I'm going to be thrown into the fire, it was there. And they answered the king in Daniel 3:18, where the king was asking them about their God and stuff, delivering them. They said, "But if not, be it known, even if he doesn't deliver us from this fire, be it known, we're not going to worship your idols." And the peace that it must have taken, the freedom from that disturbance, the tranquility. And we can have that peace. The word tells us that we're more than conquerors through Him. And I remember a sermon that I heard someone preach one time. She was preaching on more than conquerors, and she said that means we're super victorious in the Lord. And because we are super victorious, we can have that peace. We can have that tranquility. And we can go back to that when we're surrounded by the things of this world, everything that's going on, we can have the peace of God, knowing that He's going to deliver us one way or another. So I just want to encourage y'all to keep that peace. And when you start feeling overwhelmed by the storms of life, think about Peter in that moment of faith of walking on the water. He kept his eyes on Christ, but when he took them off and started looking at the storm, that's when he began to sink. So as you go out throughout your day, and as your week starts on Monday, tomorrow, just know that you can have peace no matter what comes. You can have the peace if you keep your eyes on the Lord. So, and I wanted to share, I think Daniel and the Hebrew children and all the other ones, I know that they had to face the things they faced in order for glory to be brought to God. And in all of their circumstances, people were turned to God during that. They realized that, the three Hebrew children, your God is the one true God. So, and if you're facing storms, just have peace in knowing that God is allowing this storm in order for something better to happen. So y'all have a great day, and I hope y'all have a wonderful week.